My top 10 Montreal Canadiens right wingers in my lifetime. So these are my picks for right wings. I'm sure you have your favorites too, of course. Let me know in the comment section below who yours are. And that's all right here at Talking Habs with me, Rick. If you love the Habs as much as I do, subscribe and ring the notifications bell to get all my videos, live streams, and podcast news dedicated to the Habs and all things hockey. So this is number 2 in my top 10 Montreal Canadiens by position series. Today we'll be covering right wingers, and in my 56 years, many a good or great player has occupied this position. So this is my list of my favorites and why I like them. So let me know who your favorite is or was in the comment section below, and let me know what you think of my picks as well. So let's get right into it. Number 10. Number 10 is Chris Nilan. A real fan favorite, a great fighter, and a stand-up guy. Nilan made the absolute most with the talent he had. He managed to score 20 goals one year, and he played with Bob Gainey and Guy Carbonneau on the checking line, which was basically the third line. All three could chip in with a goal or defensive play, and because his line mates were so talented, Nilan had to lift his game a notch. To his credit, he did, and became more than just a goon, but a fighter who could play. Number 9 is not also Chris Nilan. Russ Ordinal. Number 9 is Russ Ordinal. In a steal of a deal, Montreal traded John Cordick to Toronto in return for Ordinal on November 7th, 1988. Ordinal was fast. He could really motor, and a good stick handler too. He quickly became a fan favorite, and the ladies loved him too, with his boyish good looks and his talent. He had 3 good seasons in Montreal, posting 39 points, 59 points, and 76 points, with 20-plus goals in each of those seasons. Before an injury-plagued 1991-92 season, Ordinal was traded over the next summer to Minnesota, where he would become an original Dallas Star and pick up his best 2 consecutive seasons with 79 and 80 points, the latter being a career high. He was excited to watch skate and play the game here in Montreal. Number 8, with 5 cups, Stanley Cup wins, Mario Tremblay. Le Bleuet Bionique, the Bionic Blueberry. Tremblay was promoted early in the 1974-75 season and played 63 games. His 21 goals, 18 assists, and 39 points is a record for Montreal rookies at 18 years old. KK came close, but he didn't get there. He was a high-energy third-line winger who could produce offense, culminating in career highs across the board in 81-82 with 33 goals, 40 assists, and 73 points. Known for his hot temper and physical play, he may be remembered more these days as the coach who traded Patrick Roy. If you remember, he left Patrick Roy in against Detroit for 9 goals against, didn't pull him. Patrick was upset, blah, blah, blah. They had words on the bench. He left, and he never came back to play. Anyway, he's the reason why. Number 7, with 2 Stanley Cups in 1979 with Montreal and 1985 with Edmonton, is Mark Napier. Napier was a goal scorer, getting 115 in his last 3 seasons in Montreal. A Stanley Cup winner in his first season with Montreal in 79, the last of the Montreal's 4 in a row. He'd go on to win another with the Oilers in 85. The most memorable thing for me about Napier is that I delivered his final contract for him to sign at his house in the summer of 1983. He answered his door and signed for his delivery, and we talked for a few minutes about nothing much. We didn't talk about hockey. He got traded after 5 games the next season. I know it was his contract because I looked inside the envelope, but it wasn't sealed. They offered him $250,000, which is about a third of the league minimum now. Number 6, with career totals of 1,054 games played, 421 goals, 398 assists, and 819 points, is Stefan Riche. Riche is the last Hab to score 50 goals. He did it twice in 1987-88 and 1989-90. He's a 2-time Stanley Cup champion in 86 with Montreal and 95 with New Jersey. He's a big guy, 6'3", 225 pounds, but he wasn't overly physical, Not the typical hard-hitting power forward you're used to. Instead, he used his skill and agility to get through traffic and his extremely hard shot and quick release to score. He had one of the hardest shots in the game, regularly hitting 100 miles per hour. He is tied for second all-time in overtime playoff goals with 4, tied with 6 others. He once fired a slap shot in warm-ups and hit Marty Brodeur in the jock and shattered the cup. He was in a little pain and a little nauseated, and he had to go into the dressing room, Brodeur, and change before he can continue. So he played 7+ seasons in Montreal in 2 separate stints, and has career numbers in Montreal of 489 games played, 225 goals, 196 assists for 421 points. Number 5, with 3 Stanley Cups, in 91 with Pittsburgh, 2006 with Carolina, and 2011 with Boston. 7-time All-Star, Mark Recchi. Traded to Montreal midway through the 1994-95 season for Eric Desjardins, John Leclerc, and Gilbert Dion. Recchi was a big-time point producer, playing with Lindros and Philly on the crazy 8th line with, I think, Brett Fedek. He didn't reach the same numbers here in Montreal, that's obviously, but he did quite well. Playing with his good friend Captain Saku Koivu, Kirk Muller, etc. He put up 120 goals, 202 assists for 322 points in 346 games played. I remember one season the Habs were decimated with injuries. People out with the flu, with injuries. And Recchi played for weeks with a pneumonia, doing yeoman's work on the first line till he finally took the time to get better. He was a great player with a 22-year career where he posted 1,652 games played, 577 goals, and 956 assists for an astounding 1,533 points. Number 4 on this list. Alex Kovalev. Kovalev came to Montreal late in his career, 14 seasons with New York and Pittsburgh under his belt. He still had something left in the tank, though. Traded to Montreal at the deadline in 2003, 2004 for Joseph Ballet and a second rounder. An unbelievable talent who just didn't come to play every night. That was the problem. In 314 games played, he scored 103 goals, 161 assists for 264 points. He found good chemistry in 2007, 2008 with Andrei Kostitsyn and Thomas Plekanec, and put up 35 goals, 49 assists for 84 points in 82 games, and looked like an elite player that he once was. AK-27, as he was known, was fun and frustrating to watch all at the same time. He signed with Ottawa in 2009, 2010 as a UFA. He was a great player. At number 3, this is an old-timer, with 6 Stanley Cups, one in 1953 and one in 1956 through 1960. 11 All-Stars. 1952 Calder Trophy winner, 2-time Art Ross Trophy winner, and the Hart Memorial Cup winner, or Trophy winner, 1 time. And that's Bernie Boom Boom Geoffrion. Boom Boom was the second player to score 50 goals in a season. He retired in 1964, so I never got to see him play. He was the inventor of the slap shot. He got his nickname from the sound of his shot hitting the boards. Boom. Won 5 cups in a row, 1956 to 1960, an amazing feat. A player with a temper. Boomer could handle himself in a scrum. A truly great Hab. Boom Boom was one of the great nicknames in hockey history. My mouth is dry. Number 2. We're getting down to the end, to the nitty gritty. Number 2. I'm not going to give his anything, cups and all that away. It'll give him away. So I'm going to just say it. Yvan Cornway. Number 2, Yvan Cornway. From 1966 to 1979, Yvan Cornway played 968 games for the Montreal Canadiens, 9th in team history, posting 428 goals, 435 assists, that's pretty balanced, 863 points, 6th in Montreal history. He has also scored 152 power play goals, 2nd most in Montreal history. He's had 4 40-goal seasons and 6 70-plus point seasons. And that's not bad for a small guy, eh? In 1973, with 25 points in 17 games, he won the Conn Smythe Trophy. He's a 10-time Stanley Cup winner, second to Henri Richard. He's also nicknamed the Roadrunner because of his tremendous speed. He had great acceleration that allowed him to get a lot of breakaways. It was amazing to watch how he could just accelerate past everybody. He was ambidextrous, which means he could use both hands, and could come in on the goalie at full speed, and then he was left shot, and then just flip his stick over to his right hand and score. Just totally fooling the goalie. He didn't do it often, but I saw him do it at least 3 times that I can remember. I hope I put it up right 3 times. I did the other day 3 times. He was exciting to watch. He was also team captain from 1975 right through till he retired in 79, winning 4 cups in a row to go out. So that's going out with a bang. The Roadrunner was a true legend. And number 1, and closest to my heart, is Guy Lafleur. Guy Lafleur, the Flower. My hockey idol and my favorite player of all time. Arguably the 2nd best player to ever wear the CH. The first NHLer to score 50 goals and 100 points in 6 consecutive seasons. With his long blonde hair flowing behind him as he skated down the ice, Lafleur was hockey greatness personified. The greatest right winger of his era, Lafleur could do it all. Skate, shoot, pass, all at top speed. He had a wicked slap shot that was accurate and heavy. He knew where to be and was positionally strong. He could forecheck and backcheck, and in the latter stages of his career, he was often the first forward back and made some really nice defensive plays. I loved watching him carry the puck, either speeding straight down his wing or dangling over the blue line and through traffic. He could get you out of your seat with chants of "Gee, gee, gee" as he flew by doing something fantastic, which he often did, and multiple times in a game, many times. In my mind, Lafleur was the epitome of greatness. 961 games played, 518 goals, 728 assists, 1,246 points, number 1 in Montreal history. 94 game winners, number 1 in Montreal history. The Art Ross Trophy 3 times, Ted Lindsay Award 3 times, the Hart Memorial Trophy twice, Conn Smythe Trophy once, 26 points in 14 games. 5 Stanley Cups, 1973 and 1976 through 79. Guy Lafleur, Montreal's best right winger ever. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Appreciate that. Subscribe and ring the notifications bell to get all my videos, live streams, and podcast news dedicated to the Habs and all things hockey. Join me Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Saturday Night Hockey Talk live stream. Hope to see you there. Go Habs, go! Bye, y'all.